Whatever your vehicle is, whether it's a minibus, an Astrovan or a pool vehicle, you should be carrying out vehicle user checks in accordance with Conservation Volunteers policies and procedures. Using the back of the vehicle travel record, it clearly shows you there what checks you need to carry out on a daily basis and on a weekly basis. So what I propose to do for the next 10 minutes is talk you through what the weekly checks are, interior and exterior. Okay, using the vehicle and equipment checklist, the first thing we've got to do is check the exterior of the vehicle. Lights, main one that we do. Ideally that's a two-man operation, yeah, so you're in the vehicle, someone's in front of you, they can see lights are on and off. If you're on your own, try and park somewhere where you've got a reflective surface, all right, back of a building, something like that, so you can see the lights are going on and off. So what I'm going to do first of all is check that all the lights are actually functioning properly. So, in your vehicle, what we're looking at doing is we're checking that the indicators are actually working. Again, this is a two-man operation, just check that they are both working both sides at the end of the day. Next we'd have to do is the reversing lights, and obviously if you've got fog lights fitted to the vehicle, you just carry out the same procedure. So that's the lights. The next point to cover is the tyres. Tyres, condition and the pressure. So it's ideal if you can actually, when you do park up, turn the tyres out, you can check the wear, make sure there's no foreign objects. More important as well, you can check there's no wear on the inside of the tyre as well, balancing, etc. is correct. Other points to consider, tyre pressure, how you check it from there, using a tyre gauge, you can check that the pressure is correct by it should be either clearly indicated on the vehicle itself or using the manufacturer's guidebook, which will give you the correct pressure. And it is important to bear in mind that correct tyre pressure is not only safety but it's also fuel consumption as well, that affects along those lines. The other final point too is how we check the wear on the tyres. We need to check on the tyres, you'll have a wear bar. Not easy to think, but actually as you go through the tyre wear you will actually see that there is just a little high mode there in the tyre, so you should be checking that as you come down that is clearly visible. If as you're checking the tyre there's no wear bar at all showing, it's time to get your tyre changed. Alright, you are boarding on, it's an illegal tyre. So now we're moving under the bonnet of the vehicle. Large selection of bottles, etc, etc. But first of all, the main one we're going to talk about is checking your oil. Easiest way to do that is when the vehicle's cold, is checking the oil, is using the dipstick. Right, so you need a rag or tissue from there, just wipe it, any traces of there, and on that you will have some indication what is the minimum level, what is the maximum level. So insert the dipstick again, now it's nice and clean, all the way in it's locked, pull it back out again, and as you see this one, halfway up, just below the maximum line, so there's sufficient oil in the vehicle. Moving across the vehicle then from right to left, we've got the washer bottle, chopped up along there, obviously for washers, something that's overlooked. Looking especially as we're coming into the winter months, the concentrate on that's correct, for all the salt build up that you get on your windows. Moving along from there, we've got the coolant along these lines. We've got the coolant, the power system and the brake fluid. All of these should be checked when they're cold. All of them have an indication level, minimum and maximum. With these ones as well, some of them you've got to make sure that you do get the right mix, and it is for that vehicle. So if you're unsure and there's something to go along this, it's an ideal time to contact Fleet and maybe your approved garage that the vehicle needs to be checked over and the fluid in question is topped up. Inside the vehicle, the first thing we've got to check on there is about your passenger's safety and comfort. First thing you do is we're looking at the seat belts. Easy check to carry out. First of all, you're checking that the seat belt is actually intact, it's got no cuts or damage to it whatsoever. Next one across there is checking the tensioners, so pulling it out along those lines. Yep, checks back along those lines, it's feeding through properly. Setting the belt into on the side there, you're now checking that the actual belt tensions up, and there you go, it's actually tensioned. So that means in the case of an emergency stop, yeah, it is actually going to do what it's there for. It's going to stop your passengers going through the windscreen. Once you check that has happened, the other one is to checking that the actual clasp does work. So seatbelt goes in, it locks in place, it's not pulling out. And the final check is to pull the seatbelt all the way out, just to make sure, yep, there are no tears, it's actually firmly attached, which this one is, and the whole of the seatbelt is in good condition. So the final checks now, we've checked under the bonnet, we've had a walk around the vehicle, everything's intact and everything else, we've checked the safety inside the vehicle. The final thing is when we turn the ignition on. This is our final checks as we go through there. So as you turn the ignition on, all your warning lights should light up. Yeah, if it's a diesel, it'll take a bit longer because of the primers going into warming up. But once it does, it will then tell you what the system is. So before driving away, ensure there are no warning lights on. If there are any warning lights, it's time for you to talk to your garage or fleet as to what course of action you need to take.